So, what's my personal favourite game of the year for 2017? Let's find out. Welcome back, guys, it's the Geek here. Yes, I thought I would do my game of the year for 2017 because we're almost at the end of 2017, and these are games I've actually played, and in fact have playthroughs on my channel if you want to check any of those out. So it won't be things that I haven't played because that wouldn't make any sense. So I realise there might be better games out there that I just didn't happen to get around to, but you know, so what. I also haven't started Assassin's Creed Origins yet, but I will be probably this weekend, or probably when this video is actually up. So that may well actually have been the game of the year for me, but I haven't gotten around to it. It's come out quite late and it's been quite busy, so that one isn't there, but I've got a feeling it is good. But also I didn't want to just list AAA titles anyway, because we all know about those. So there are a few games that I like to list for my of the year lists where you might not have heard of them, or you know, I think they deserve a mention because they've been a bit different, a bit quirky, you know, indie games, that kind of thing. So maybe it's a good thing that I didn't play Assassin's Creed yet when I made this video, because then it's a valuable spot taken up where I could have shone some light on some maybe lesser known games, if that makes sense. So to kick things off, coming in at 5th place with 6 out of 10 is The Evil Within 2.
You refuse to see. You can save her.
That psycho is still on the loose in here.
And he's got Lily.
This chase has been entertaining. But even the greatest entertainments must come to an end.
Enough art school bullshit. Where is she?
We have the same goal, Sebastian. We can help each other. Join me.
So this was a great game to play at Halloween time. I like having a horror game to play at Halloween time. As you know, I like horror stuff, survival horrors, all that kind of thing. I do apologise if I sound a bit bunged up, but it is that time of year. And although this game wasn't anything particularly new, you know, it's a fairly standard survival horror, I did enjoy it. Was quite surprised at how long it was. It was pretty, you know, it was value for money kind of thing. Had a pretty good story, good action, and it was pretty scary. So yeah, it's definitely 5th on my list. It's pretty good, so if you've not checked it out, do check it out. And then moving on to one of those lesser known games I was talking about. Although this was a bit of a sleeper hit, it did actually get quite a lot of attention. It was under the radar. I like to look out for these sorts of games, but it did actually get quite a bit of popularity, so you may well have heard of it, and it's Stories Untold.
James, please.
One day, Mr. Asian, this will haunt you.
Now I give this game 7 out of 10, and it's such a cool game. It's an homage to like text-based games, the 80s, and Stranger Things. It's got that whole feel about it. You've got to, you know, use your brain. You've got to solve puzzles and clues and try and work out what's going on. The story's kind of crazy, and you go down a rabbit hole, and it's just like, what is happening? What does this all mean? And it's a pretty good, not twist, but pretty good ending. And it's, yeah, I guess you weren't really expecting it, but it's kind of weird. It plays your mind. This actually did make quite a few more games like this come out. I think one's called Sorry James or something like that. It kind of opened up the door a bit to get some more puzzle type text-based games, you know, to the forefront a bit. And so yeah, but Stories Untold was probably the bigger one of the year. And then in 3rd, with 7.5 out of 10, is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
3 Persian invasions, 3 separate wars. And all these years later, no one has found it.
The tusk of Ganesh.
Wow.
Spectacular. No wonder the Hoysala capital was ransacked.
Their loss is our gain.
A thief? You're working for a thief.
Everyone's got to make a living.
You were going to sell me out, weren't you?
Let's get one thing straight. This is my gig. You want your share? We play by my rules. What's it gonna be?
So I love the Uncharted series, and so I was happy to see this game come out. It's the first one without Nathan Drake, because I'm pretty sure that story, Nathan Drake's story, is done now. But this game wasn't disappointing at all. Without him, it was still really, really good. He is somewhat missed, but it's pretty much everything you'd expect from an Uncharted game. I enjoyed the story, for the most part the puzzles, the gameplay, the characters. Yeah, it was really good. The only thing I would say about it is it did feel a bit like DLC. Now originally it was going to be DLC, and they decided to make like a whole game out of it, but it's not. It doesn't quite feel like a whole game. It doesn't feel like a fully fledged Uncharted game. It feels like it's somewhere in between DLC and a full game, and you can feel that when you're playing it. It does feel like it's just sort of, it's not fleshed out quite enough, but it is still really, really good, hence it's third on my list. And then coming in at 2, the game not many of you, actually a lot of you may well have heard of it because it was streamed to death, but I played it really, really early on, and it's Dr. Dekker.
Dr. Dekker was murdered. Dr. Dekker thought one of his patients was trying to kill him.
I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure.
Do you think I'm a suspect, Doctor?
All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to think.
Do you think I killed my parents? Why? Because I stabbed my husband?
Dekker was a dangerous person.
I'm not a murderer.
It's just me. I'm going crazy.
I stabbed him with a steak knife.
It's our secret.
Now I give this game 8 out of 10, and it was really, really fun. Now as you may know, I like FMV games, I like puzzles, I like investigation type stuff, and this is a bit like Her Story, which I did play through of probably a couple of years ago now, where you have to type in certain questions, and depending on what you type in and what you ask and that kind of thing, you unlock more videos, more of the story, and the story can actually change a little bit. It can even be a different person who's the killer, depending on what you ask and how you play the game. And the stories are brilliant. They're really unique and twisted and strange, and the acting is great, it's funny, and it's just a really, really cool game, really. It's really cool. It's like you're in a movie or something like that, and you're playing the lead investigator, and it's good. I do recommend playing it yourself, or at least watching someone play it. I don't play through if you want to watch me, but yeah, check it out because it is very unique, and like I say, it was second on this list. And then, although I did say I don't want loads of AAA titles on this list, coming in at 1 is, but it had to be, and it's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Home. A welcoming place. A haven of safety and warmth. Where families meet for laughter and feasts. Where friends and strangers are welcomed to the family.
Now I give this 9 out of 10 because it was really, really scary. Now I'm not a wimp at all when it comes to horror stuff. I really like horror movies, really like horror games. They don't usually scare me at all, so I'm always on the lookout for something truly terrifying, and this game did terrify me. It was so bad, in fact, I didn't actually even want to play it. So I'm there playing it, and I was like, I don't want to come back to this, but I've started a playthrough now, so I kind of feel like I have to. But it's not because it was a bad game, just because it was so scary and off-putting. The main reason why, though, is because I played the whole thing in VR. Now, I didn't really see anyone else doing this. Most people were saying how scary it was and they're playing normally. I'm like, guys, I'm playing VR. It's like I'm by myself, headphones on, don't know what's going on around me, feel like I'm in this game, and things are jumping out at you, and it's honestly, truly terrifying. Like, I can't explain to you how horrible it is. Now eventually that feeling did go about halfway, 2/3 through the game. I wasn't scared to play it anymore because you're kind of used to things, you got more weapons and that kind of stuff, and it's a bit better now. But for the first half of this game I was just like, I don't want to do this. It was horrible, but brilliant. I mean, look at this clip where I jump here. Oh, fucking bull, crappy, shitty bag. I mean, you can hear the genuine terror in my voice. Oh! I sound like a little girl. It was just, it reminded me of when the dogs jumped through the window in the first Resident Evil, or was it Resident Evil 2? Playing it way back when, and I think it was an homage to that. But like, some of the jump scares are awful, and also because it's quite restrictive to move in VR, because you've got to look and you using your analog to try and quickly turn. You're not sort of running around normally. It makes it even harder and even worse because you can't really feel like you can run away very easily. And I don't know if that's necessarily on purpose or more just a quirk of playing in VR, but it made it even worse. It's like, I just want to get away, but I don't know how to do it, and it was really scary. So if you want to see me getting scared quite a lot, like I say, I've got a playthrough of it. And yeah, it was brilliant. I liked the story. I liked the graphics weren't amazing in VR because it's VR, but it still looked awesome, you know, in my visor. And yeah, it was brilliant. So that's it, guys. That's my 5 games listed for this year that I thought were the best, with Resident Evil 7 coming out on the top of the pile. And what did you think? What games did you like the most? Do you agree with anything on my list? Let me know. So guys, that about do it. Click like if you like that. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, remember, maybe don't play horror games in virtual reality because you might poo your pants. Okay. Bye. Oh! Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome! But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.